Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me the opportunity to do that. And I'm so honored and pleased to introduce Mr. Bradley H. Udall from my district, the Colorado 2nd District. Brad currently serves as the Senior Water and Climate Research Scientist for Colorado State University's Colorado Water Institute. He helped author the 4th National Climate Assessment, and he is an expert, literally, in the sense of the word, in anything related to Western water. I also would be remiss if I didn't point out the weight, certainly, that we all feel, and that certainly Brad must be feeling and testifying in this room. If you all look to the back of the room, you can see the picture of his father, the legendary Mr. Morris Udall. Brad, it is such an honor to have you here today, and I certainly know that your father would be very proud, as is the state of Colorado. Thank you for taking the time to come testify and help us learn about a topic that is extremely important to our district, our state, and our country. And I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. It's an honor to have you, Mr. Udall.
Thank you. Chairman Huffman, Ranking Member McClintock, and other members of the panel, thank you for providing me an opportunity to speak. I am a senior scientist at Colorado State University, where I study how climate change will affect Western U.S. water supplies. Today, I want to focus on the Colorado River. After 19 years of unprecedented low flows and overuse in the lower basin, the nation's two largest reservoirs, Lakes Mead and Powell, are now barely 40% full. Without major action by the Colorado River Basin states, there's a substantial risk of draining Lake Mead to dead pool in the next 7 years, an event that would prove to be very challenging. Since 2000, Colorado River flows have been 19% below the 20th century average. Temperatures in the basin are now 2 Fahrenheit warmer, and those temperatures are certain to continue rising. Scientists have begun using aridification to describe the ongoing hot and dry climate in the basin rather than just drought. In 2017, Jonathan Overpeck and I found that higher temperatures due to climate change had reduced the flow of the Colorado River by approximately 6%, and that additional warming could reduce flows by approximately 20% by 2050 and up to 35% by 2100 should precipitation remain the same. Higher temperatures increase evaporation from soils and water bodies, increase sublimation from snowpacks, and increase water use by plants due to a longer growing season and more warmth on any given day. Other studies have come to similar conclusions. The 2018 National Climate Assessment found that snowpacks are being reduced, snowmelt runoff is occurring earlier in the year, and flows in the fall are lower. More of our precipitation is occurring as rain rather than snow. The not yet approved drought contingency plan is an important first step to solving the basin's problems. It significantly reduces the chance of emptying Lake Mead. Most critically, the DCP buys us time to implement more permanent solutions. However, it leaves many hard decisions for the next plan. Negotiations for that replacement plan should begin next year. This plan needs to be a climate change plan for the basin. The planning process should be open and inclusive. It should solve the overuse problem in the lower basin and prepare for extended and unprecedented low flows. It should also revisit a number of long-standing assumptions about how the river is being managed, including the upper basin's so-called delivery obligation, who bears the burden of solving the lower basin's overuse, and how the reservoirs are operated. I want to offer a few suggestions how the federal government might help ensure water security in the basin. Additional ideas are in my written testimony. With climate change, the past is no longer a guide to the future. This makes planning very difficult. Scientists need to devise new ways to predict future runoff and find other ways, including scenarios, to help decision makers grapple with this very different future. Agriculture will be at the center of additional water shortages in the basin because of its approximately 70% of total water use. Deficit irrigation, rotational fallowing, crop switching, irrigation efficiency all offer opportunities to save water while keeping ag in production. There is much that a coordinated effort between Interior with WaterSmart and USDA with its Farm Bill can do to ensure that the harm to ag is minimized. The Salton Sea deserves significant federal resources. Without a functioning Salton Sea, the Imperial Irrigation District's ability to contribute to a meaningful resolution of the lower basin's overuse will be seriously constrained. Interior needs to continue to fund our national stream gauge network. Congress should continue to support existing programs like NOAA's, RESA's, Interior's Climate Adaptation Science Centers, and the USDA Climate Hubs. Finally, any solution must aim at the root cause of these temperature-induced flow reductions. The ultimate goal must be net zero greenhouse gas emissions as soon as is practical, ideally net zero by 2050, but no later than 2070. Greenhouse gas reductions must be pursued through a suite of actions, including carbon pricing, investments in technology, tax credits, and other techniques. In conclusion, climate change is water change, and it's already impacting the Colorado River. My father was a member of this committee for over 30 years, and he chaired it for 14. This very hearing room is named for him. That generation did not shy away from solving the great problems of its day, including how to provide reliable water supplies for the American Southwest. Similarly, this generation should not shy away from solving the great problems of today, which include how do we adapt to climate change and how do we stop it? Climate change threatens all we hold dear. This is especially clear when it reduces our life-giving water supplies. Climate change is the key threat to 21st century water supply reliability. To minimize this threat, we must act now by adapting to the coming changes with smart water management and policy, with technology, with science, and also by reducing greenhouse gas emissions as quickly as we can. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr.